Now, go ahead.
Like, click them all off?
Yeah.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Yes, Ed Starr. My name is Ed Starr. I'm from Buffalo, New York. And I had been involved with the turtle when it was just an idea. And it was a good idea. But people were a little leery. They really went out on a limb for this place, trying to do something that nobody else was doing anywhere. And it was very visionary at the time. People were understandably skeptical of the whole idea, but it came together. You know, I don't know how many meetings there were, you know, and fundraisers and things they had back in the old, on Third Avenue, the old storefront with Duffy Wilson and Stan Hill and Rick, and there, you know, there were a hard core of hard-bodied supporters that, you know, that just kept plugging away at this thing for ages, and, you know, in spite of, you know, people telling them that it couldn't be done, and they just kept at it. And their thing was that time. These are all a group of artists, mostly. You know, there were people who were, you know, that weren't involved in architecture and community buildings or management. Or these were people who were making things, but they were also people who were contributing to their community. And you know, that's what they wanted to leave something. You know, and have a presence for Native people here. Other than, because before that, what presence did Native people have in Niagara Falls? Selling beadwork, you know, along the tourists, you know, for generations they did that, and that was the only real presence that you saw. And it skewed people's ideas about what, you know, who Native people were and what they were all about. This was supposed to be a corrective to that, and it really was, and it really still is. I remember Duffy saying, you know, it's a turtle building. What do they you know, they can never take that away from us, because who wants a turtle building but us? But yeah, we still want it. And it deserves to be saved. I'm glad to see you folks. You know, that I've been away for a while, and I'm glad to see that, you know, folks have picked up. You know, picked up the challenge. I mean, it's the same challenge as you know, as the people who originally conceptualized the whole place. It's not all that different. But it needs to stay in Native hands. It really does. We need to have some kind of Native presence here, and I think that's it's the turtle building that will do it. So thanks for the opportunity.
Of course. Thank you for talking to us.
Anything you want to ask?
No.
I got a question. So I know in terms of residents, we often lack a lot of things. A lot of Native Americans lack a lot of options and power when it comes to our position in society, especially with these buildings that are being constantly erased or destroyed. Up the road from there, there used to be an old mall that had a bunch of Native American artifacts and like statues that are destroyed. It's near the Colony Street back there. You know, it's destroyed and it's completely gone now, and there's no residents. It's just a clear area of the fence. And a lot of these buildings like these are being destroyed constantly. This is a very beautiful building. The turtle, it represents a lot, especially because it's a turtle of our mother, the land itself, and it's a very beautiful and powerful building. And I remember that a lot of people don't understand the weight of our historical buildings, especially because the comparison of other ethnic races, because we're the most oppressed there is. We're the most that are losing the most, you know, and all these things are constantly losing, and it's very tragic that this building, we even have to talk about it being maybe not gone or it's going or something, you know? And I want to ask, how do you feel about the aspect of our position right now between like this building, like the struggle of us trying to keep it?
Well, like I said, I think it's I think it's admirable that people are still that much interested and that much invested. It's a good thing that that people still have that engagement with the community and the engagement with the ideas that the building represents. But one of the more elegant features of the building, and I'll talk about the building itself, one of the more elegant features of this that you don't really hear people talking about much anymore, but it was a big thing back then when they were talking conceptualizing it, is to try to come up with something that all Native people could relate to. I don't know anybody in North America that can't relate to a turtle You know, everybody's got that in their stories. You know, turtles are an essential part of a lot of people's history, a lot of people's stories, a lot of people's traditions. So anybody could come here, any Native person could come here, and they would immediately be able to relate to it. They would know what it means.
Family. Yeah.
And that shouldn't be lost.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not just for Native people. I mean, the non-Native people should be. It should be about time that they would come to the realization that they have something to learn from this.
Acceptance and a culture.
They have something important to learn from this. Yeah.
Do you believe that that anyone should be able to learn this and get this information, especially for our culture, and we should spread it out more, and so everyone can be able to become aware of our the beauty of what we have in our culture? Do you believe that we should spread it out more?
Oh, I do. I do. I think getting the word out. I think a community. It's been too long that Native people have been ignored in terms of their overall contributions.
Yeah.
If you ask somebody like me, I will tell you, because I remember having these kind of conversations with people like John Mohawk about that the Native tradition is a thinking tradition. You know, and one of the things that I'm kind of keyed into is the philosophical aspects of all.
Yeah.
You know, and there are people that don't have an idea that Native people have a different kind of basis of a different cosmology, a different type of phenomenology.
Philosophy.
You know, a different. It's a whole philosophy. You know, what is ontology? What are things? What is a turtle? You know, it's not just an animal. A turtle means a whole lot of things. You know. Just like everything else is, there is the ostensible meaning to things and the symbolic meaning to things. Everybody understands that. Why shouldn't Native people understand? Native people have that as well. You know, a turtle is a turtle, but it's also an idea. It's a symbol. It means it has meaning that it doesn't have in other cultures, and that's indigenous to America. You know, but that's the kind of thing I think really should be. I want to use the word infect. We should be infecting, non-Native communities with some of those ideas. Look, they're already doing it. They've already been doing it since the days of early colonization. They've taken on a lot of Native characteristics without knowing it. But they didn't get the essential. They didn't get the background. They didn't get the richness of it. Places like this would
really tell that.
Enable people to be able to connect with that.
Especially because we have a lot of Native Americans who come and they just don't know who they are. They're lost. They have no right to get where they want to be. And I think this building being up and running will show a lot, because my grandma used to be able to dance here. Her kids used to be here, and they used to have shops, dancing, classes, all these different varied things that help enforce and teach people what they want to know, because there's also different sources to get into, but everyone can have that source. And I think this area is very beautiful. A lot of people come down here, tourists come down here, and then we can have good tourist traction because a lot of money goes through here.
And it's not a casino.
And
you know, when people identify Native people with if there's a structure, it's a casino.
Yeah.
This is not a casino. The wealth is not in the machines. It's not in the slot machine. The wealth is the stuff you can't see.
Yeah.
And that's what I think needs to be transmitted to other folks.
Yeah.
That there's value above and beyond the nominal value.
Yeah. And I thank you for coming here and speaking with us. It's always
thank
beautiful.
You. Thanks
and
for
what's your name?
Ed Starr.
Ed Starr? Nice to meet you, Ed Starr. I'm Connor. This is Kobe. We got 2 celebrities here too.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you.